Good afternoon, my dear students. How have you been? Welcome to Al Private School virtual learning classes. We will play, learn, and grow together. We are thinkers. We will think to solve the problems. We will think to have ideas. We will think all the time because we are thinkers. We are thinkers. We will use our thinking skills to solve problems and to make decisions. So today we have a new story, or this week we have a new story. The title of the story is Lighting Lives. But in the beginning, let's read the essential question. The essential question is, how can people help out their community? In the beginning, what's the meaning of community? The community is the place where we live, works, and play together. We can help in our community by donating our time, by donating our money. We can help by give ideas to the community. We can say, let's clean this place, let's clean the neighborhood, let's paint this wall, let's plant a garden. Look at here, this place was filled with garbage, but few neighbors thought of a solution to this problem. Their idea was to make a garden, so they cleaned up the garbage and they planted flowers and plants. So, the title of our story is Lighting Lives. The genre of this story is narrative nonfiction. What's the meaning of narrative nonfiction? The narrative nonfiction is a story about person's life. It's telling by a narrator. The narrator, he is a person who tells us a story. It has text features like photos and captions. So how can people help out their community? We will read to learn how one person is helping people in her community. So we will read about this one. Look at here. The narrative nonfiction tells a story about a person by a narrator. It can have text features like photos and captions. The captions give information about the photo. Now let's take the vocabs. The first word here is across. If people go across something, they go from one side of it to another. Like when we say, I walked across the park, like when we say I live across the park, that means I live in the other side of the park. Like when we say there is a bookstore across my house, that means in the other side. So across means to walk from one side to another side. We walked across the street. Look at here, the children walked across the street. Borrow. The second word here is borrow. If you borrow something, you take it and agree to return it later. For example, if you go to the school without your pencil, if you forgot to take your pencil, you can borrow a pencil from your friend. You will take it, you will use it and give it back to him. We can borrow books from the library. We will take them, read them, and give them back. So borrow means to take something and agree to return it back. I like to borrow books from the library in my town. Like if I want to borrow something, I will say, may I borrow this thing? I need to borrow your car. I need to borrow maybe your umbrella, whatever you want. Here we have countryside. The countryside is land that is away from cities or large towns. So the countryside is land that is away from the cities or the large towns. Like when we say we grew up in the countryside surrounded by the beauties of nature, the best way to explore the countryside is on food. I like the countryside. So the white countryside is full of grass and trees. The countryside is a place or a land that's far away from cities and large towns. Idea, like when I say I have an idea. If you have an idea about how to do something, you have a plan about how to do it. So when you have an idea about how to do something, you have a plan about how to do it. Like when we say, I have an idea, I like that idea. This is a bad idea, or this is a good idea. Let's see the sentence. Ling had an idea for how to make a paper crane. Insist. If someone insists on something, they say firmly that it must be done. When you insist on something, that means you say it must be done. Like, I insist to solve your homework. I insist to sleep early. He insists on going to the park with his father. My mother insists that I should eat more vegetables. My mother insists that I shouldn't go out after dark. My father insisted that we should go somewhere. So insist, that means to say something must be done. Mom insists we wear our seat belts. I don't know why the last word it's down here. Let me get it up. Let me fix that. Okay, should be there. Let's complete. Lonely. If you are lonely, you are unhappy because you are alone. Like when we say, I feel lonely without my family. She was lonely and sad. Gabe was lonely when his friend moved away. Solution. If you have found an answer to your problem, you have found a solution. So the solution is how to fix the problem. Like, Dylan found a solution for his problem. I think it's a math problem. Village. The villages are small groups of houses in the country. So the villages are small groups of houses, like here. Look at the picture. Here we can see the village. The towns are larger than villages. We can say, he lives in a small village. I visited the village where he was born. So look at here, what's the meaning of village? It's a small group of houses in the countryside. When few people live in the, not when, let's read the sentence. Few people live in the small villages on the mountain. Let's revise the words across. If people go across something, they go from one side to another. Borrow. When you borrow something from someone, you take it and agree to return it back. The countryside is a land that's far away from cities or towns or large towns. Idea. When you have an idea about how to do something, you have a plan about how to do it. Insist. If someone insists on something or on something, they say firmly that it must be done. Lonely. If you are lonely, you are unhappy because you are alone. Solution. The solution for a problem is how did you solve this problem, or how can you solve this problem? Village. The village is a small group of houses. Okay. Now let's talk about synonyms. The synonyms are two words with the same meaning. Like, for example, kids and children, like present and gift. So what are the synonyms? There are two words but with the same meaning. The synonym is a word that has a similar meaning to another, like good and fine and okay. For example, if I ask, how are you? You can say, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay. So all of these words, they have the same meaning or almost the same meaning, but with a small difference. The synonyms are words that have the same meaning, like children, kids, present, gift, like choose and select, like noise and loud, like quiet and silent. Choose and select, finish and end, hard and difficult, drop and fall, happy and joyful, idea and thought, noisy and loud, pretty and beautiful. I can say you are pretty and I can say you are beautiful. Pretty and beautiful, they have the same meaning. He's sad or he's unhappy. Sad and unhappy, they have the same meaning. Present and gift, quiet and silent, tired and sleepy, stinky and smelly, trash and garbage, tiny and small, write and record. So what's the meaning of synonyms? There are two words with the same meaning. Now get your turn practice book. Let's solve again across. When people move or walk from one side to another side means across. Borrow means to take something and agree to return it back. Countryside is a land that is far away from cities and large towns. Ideas, when you have an idea, you have a plan to do something. Insist, when you insist, you say something must be done. Lonely, lonely means to be sad because you are alone. Solution is how to fix a problem or the way you fix the problem. Villages is a small group of houses. So choose the word that makes sense in each blank. Then write the word on the line. It's in your turn practice book, page number 121. Choose the word that makes sense in each blank. Then write the word on the line. The road passes through many small towns and what? Towns and villages. So let's write villages. We saw a sheep farm in the where we can find the sheep farm? In the countryside. She felt when everyone left the house. She was alone, so she felt lonely. May I please your pencil? I need to use your pencil. I need to borrow your pencil. May I please borrow your pencil? The boy has a good for his art project. So he has a good idea. They use the bridge to get, we use the bridge to get from one side to another. So to get across the stream. I know that to this math problem, it's a problem. So I found the solution to the math problem. The teacher that students do their best, the teacher insists. Now turn your page, page number 128. It's 129 in your books, it's different. So look at her, the synonyms are words that have almost the same meaning. Read each pair of sentences, find the two words that are synonyms. Circle the synonyms and then write them on the lines. Number 1. When he was 16, he took a solo bike trip. He took a solo bike trip. That means he went alone. He rode his bike alone across the United States. So where is the synonyms? Here we have solo and alone. You should write them on the line. on the lines. When he was 16, he took a solo bike trip. That's a big journey for a young man. So, trip and journey, they have the same meaning. Write them on the lines. Now, when dog rides, it may be with a group of children. The group sets up bike rides for city kids. Children and kids have the same meaning. Let's write the words now. Solo and alone. Trip and journey. Trip and journey. Here we have children and kids. And kids. Read the sentence, write a word to answer each question. They weren't sure if it was safe to touch it. Once they were certain it was harmless, they all took turns holding it. Which word? In the second sentence is synonym for sure. Sure and certain have the same meaning, so they are synonyms. Sure and certain. So we should write certain on the line. Number 5. Which word in the second sentence is a synonym for safe? Safe and harmless are synonyms. They have the same meaning. So let's write certain and harmless. Thank you for listening. Grade 2. See you later. Goodbye.